The more you try to control life, the more it slips through your fingers. Let go and watch the magic unfold. What if the secret to a fulfilling life isn't about pushing harder, chasing goals relentlessly, or forcing outcomes? What if, instead, it's about letting go, surrendering to the flow, and trusting the process? This profound idea, inspired by the teachings of philosopher Alan Watts, challenges everything we've been taught about success, happiness, and control. In a world obsessed with hustle culture, where 80% of people report feeling stressed about achieving their goals, Watts' wisdom offers a refreshing perspective. When you stop forcing life, everything changes. Buckle up, because we're diving deep into this transformative concept. We'll explore why forcing life creates resistance, how letting go can unlock peace and purpose, and practical ways to embrace the flow. Along the way, we'll weave in stats, stories, and insights to keep you hooked. Let's begin. The trap of forcing life. Picture this: you're rowing a boat upstream against a powerful current. Your arms burn, sweat drips down your face, and no matter how hard you paddle, you barely move. Exhausted, you finally let go of the oars, and the river gently carries you downstream. Suddenly, the journey feels effortless. This is what forcing life feels like, pushing against the natural flow, whether it's obsessing over a promotion, trying to fix a strained relationship, or chasing a picture-perfect lifestyle. Forcing outcomes often leads to frustration. According to a 2022 study by the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, people who fixate on controlling outcomes are 40% more likely to experience anxiety and dissatisfaction. Why? Because life, like a river, has its own rhythm. Alan Watts, a British-American philosopher who popularized Eastern philosophy in the West, often spoke about this. He said, "You don't dance to get to the other side of the floor. Life isn't about racing to a destination. It's about enjoying the dance." Yet society conditions us to believe otherwise. From a young age, we're taught to set rigid goals, follow strict plans, and measure success by milestones. But what happens when things don't go as planned? Forcing life creates a cycle of resistance. You set a goal like earning $100,000 a year by age 30. You hustle, sacrifice sleep, and stress over every setback. If you don't hit the target, you feel like a failure. Even if you do, the victory feels hollow, because you're already chasing the next milestone. Watts called this the backwards law. The harder you try to grasp happiness, the more it eludes you, the power of letting go. Now, imagine the opposite: letting go. This doesn't mean giving up on goals or becoming passive. It means releasing the need to control every detail and trusting that life will unfold as it should. Watts, drawing from Taoist philosophy, compared this to Wu Wei, the art of non-action, or effortless action. It's about aligning with life's natural flow, like a leaf floating on a stream. A 2021 study in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that people who practice acceptance, letting go of the need to control outcomes, are 35% more likely to report higher life satisfaction. Letting go reduces stress, fosters resilience, and opens you to unexpected opportunities. Consider the story of Sarah, a 34-year-old graphic designer. For years, she forced her career path, chasing high-paying corporate jobs to prove her worth. She worked 60-hour weeks, ignored her health, and felt miserable despite her success. One day, burned out, she quit. Instead of panicking, she took a leap of faith, started freelancing, and pursued projects she loved. Within a year, she was earning more than ever, working half the hours, and feeling fulfilled. Why? Because she stopped forcing life and trusted her intuition. Watts often said life is a game, and the first rule is to take it lightly. When you let go, you create space for serendipity. Opportunities, relationships, and insights emerge when you're not strangling life with expectations. Why forcing life backfires? Let's break down why forcing life creates resistance, backed by science and Watts' insights. 1. It fuels anxiety. A 2023 survey by Mental Health America found that 65% of adults feel anxious about not doing enough to achieve their goals. When you force outcomes, you're constantly worried about failing, which spikes cortisol levels and erodes mental health too. It blinds you to possibilities. Watts believed that obsession with control narrows your perspective. When you're fixated on one path, you miss side roads that could lead to better destinations. A 2020 study in behavioral science found that people who remain open to uncertainty are 30% more likely to discover innovative solutions. 3. It disconnects you from the present. Forcing life pulls you out of the now. You're either regretting the past or worrying about the future. Watts emphasized mindfulness, saying, "The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious, and so simple." Yet 47% of people spend their waking hours distracted, not fully present. Harvard University, 2010-4. It drains your energy. Constantly pushing against life's flow is exhausting. A 2022 study in the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology found that employees who micromanage their work are 25% more likely to experience burnout. Letting go conserves energy for what truly matters. How to stop forcing and start flowing. So, how do you stop forcing life and embrace the flow? Here are practical steps inspired by Watts' teachings, blended with modern insights. 1. Practice radical acceptance. Accept what is, without judgment. This doesn't mean tolerating toxic situations, but acknowledging reality as it is. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of fuming, take a deep breath and notice the world around you. A 2021 study in Mindfulness journal found that practicing acceptance reduces stress by 20% in high-pressure situations. What's said to have faith is to trust yourself to the water. When you swim, you don't grab hold of the water. Trust life's current. 2. Set intentions, not ultimatums. These are great, but don't let them become prisons. Instead of saying, "I must buy a house by 35, set an intention. I'll work toward financial stability and stay open to opportunities. This shift reduces pressure and keeps you flexible. According to a 2020 study in motivation science, people with flexible goals are 28% more likely to adapt to setbacks. 3. Embrace the present moment. Watts was a champion of mindfulness. He said, "This is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now." Try this. For 1 minute, focus on your breath. Notice the air moving in and out. This simple practice, backed by a 2019 study in neuroimage, rewires your brain to stay present, reducing anxiety by 15%. 4. Trust your intuition. Your gut often knows what your mind overcomplicates. What's believed intuition is your connection to the universe's flow. Before making a big decision, pause and ask, what feels right? A 2022 study in Frontiers in Psychology found that people who trust their intuition make decisions 22% faster and report higher satisfaction. 5. Take inspired action. Letting go doesn't mean doing nothing. It means acting from a place of alignment, not desperation. If you feel inspired to start a project, go for it without obsessing over the outcome. Watts called this dancing with life. A 2021 study in Creativity Research Journal found that people who act on inspiration rather than obligation are 33% more likely to feel fulfilled. Hey, if you're finding this valuable, hit that subscribe button to join our community. Your support means the world, and it keeps us creating content like this. Thanks for being here. Real life examples of flow in action. Let's look at 2 more stories that show the magic of letting go. Michael, the entrepreneur. Michael spent years forcing his startup to succeed, micromanaging every detail. After a near breakdown, he took a step back, delegated tasks, and focused on his vision instead of control. Within 6 months, his company doubled its revenue. By aligning with the flow, he attracted the right team and opportunities. Priya, the student. Priya was obsessed with getting into a top university. She studied 12 hours a day, sacrificing sleep and joy. When she didn't get accepted, she felt crushed. Instead of forcing another round of applications, she took a gap year to travel and volunteer. That experience led her to a passion for environmental science, and she later enrolled in a program that felt like her true calling. These stories echo Watts' teaching: muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. When you stop stirring the water, clarity emerges. The science behind the flow. Modern science backs Watts' philosophy. The concept of flow state, popularized by psychologist Miss Ali Six and Miss Ali, describes a state of effortless focus where time seems to disappear. A 2020 study in Nature found that people in flow states are 50% more productive and report 37% higher levels of happiness. Flow states happen when you're fully engaged, not forcing. Think of an artist lost in their painting or an athlete in the zone. You can cultivate this by doing what you love without attachment to the outcome. Watts would argue that life itself can be a flow state if you stop resisting. Common misconceptions about letting go. Before we wrap up, let's address some myths. Myth 1. Letting go means being lazy. Not true. It's about working smarter, not harder. You still take action, but it's aligned, not forced. Myth 2. Letting go means giving up dreams. Wrong. It means pursuing dreams with flexibility, not rigidity. Myth 3. Letting go is weak. On the contrary, it takes courage to trust life's uncertainty. A 2022 study in psychological science found that people who embrace uncertainty are 25% more resilient. Final thoughts. Dance with life. Alan Watts' wisdom is a wake-up call in a world that glorifies control. When you stop forcing life, you don't just find peace, you unlock a deeper connection to yourself and the universe. You start to see life not as a race, but as a dance, where every step, even the missteps, is part of the rhythm. As Watts said, you are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. Stop trying to control the view. Let the universe surprise you, so the next time you feel stuck, take a breath, loosen your grip, trust the flow, because when you stop forcing life, everything changes. What's one area of your life where you can let go? Drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going.